Hey, what is up? Be that Sequential Geek. Welcome to my channel. Just want to share some of that loving from the Sequential Hood. That would be the online back issue hauls I've been making. So I've been doing a lot of shopping in comic book stores, spending a lot of money since I've been in Denver, since I moved out here in August. And adding up, been spending a lot of money, so I'm trying to cut down on the spending and did some online purchases, just like a couple the first week of January, but since then, not much. So I want to be showing some hauls that I made from October, November, December, stuff that I purchased online. This stack right here, just to show you what just going into a comic book shop can turn into. So these 10 comics right here were the 10 that I got when I said I walked into this one comic book shop. Came in with 3 comics, the Arthur Sidian covers of Batman Predator, and got $10 store credit, went into the dollar bin, got these 10 comics, right? And then this whole stack right here are the ones that I showed in the previous vid, the indie comics that I got from Kilgore Books. I think like 2 or 3 of these are from Mutiny Information Cafe, but these are all just indie comics I got just one day checking out Denver. So it adds up, and it's gotta stop. Gotta shift gears. That's why I got this stack of comics that I've been getting here in the dollar bin, stuff like these guys. I'm gonna be reviewing maybe 2, 3 at the most. I did a couple vids where I reviewed like 5 comics, and it just was like hour and a half. A lot of show and tell, not a lot of critique on the actual art, so I just want to maybe do like 2 or 3 of those so I can focus a little bit more on just the quality of the narrative of the book. So right there we got this Fearless Defenders #1 from 2013, the Milo Manara variant. This is the Italian edition, and I got this for $77. That includes shipping. It's shipped in from Italy, and I'm trying to get just like a partial refund because I don't know if you can see right there. It's like a dent, like a bend right there. And I don't know, I wouldn't call that near mint. And what inspired me to get this comic is actually the channel Beauty Comics. That's right, he did a spread on Milo Manara comics, and I really dug this Valkyrie one. I think the Valkyrie and the Gamora covers that Milo Manara did were really hot. So, all right, moving forward. 2 X-Men books. All right, so the reason I got these books is I wanted to get triples. I know, talk about hoarding at this point, right? Of Uncanny X-Men issues 164 to 175. Because I ended up getting doubles, and I just noticed I was getting triples. Finding really high quality books for around like $6 to $8. Seems like there's a lot of people spending money on the John Byrne books. What is that? Just anything that's 120s, 130s. Those for sure. A lot of people are focusing on. So while people are looking in that direction, I'm paying attention to these books from this era. And this is the era that, invest in what you know too. Invest in what you collect what you like. And this was the era that got me interested in the X-Men. Expanded my horizons outside of like Thor, the Avengers, Captain America, which I'm not knocking. But when I saw that Paul Smith art on like X-Men 175, definitely when Rogue joined, because I saw that crossover with X-Men Avengers, was at Avengers Annual #10, first appearance of Rogue. So, but this is Paul Smith art right here. And I thought I had triples after I got these two. I realized I need issue 173. Then I'll have triples of my Uncanny X-Men run from 164 to 175. My OG run when I was originally collecting comics in the 80s, I was starting to get into back issues, and I think I got Uncanny X-Men from 150 on up to 300 something. Single copies, direct edition, comic book store bought back in the day when, comic book stores were starting to pop up in the early 80s. Anyway, how much did I pay for these? So that Uncanny X-Men number 164, that's the first Carol Danvers as Binary. I paid a total of $56 for that. That includes shipping. The Brood were experimenting on Carol Danvers, trying to turn her brood, and they just ended up inadvertently creating her as Binary. I mean, she already had that Kree history, so I don't think they knew what they were messing with. This is so hot, that red skin with that like bikini. Carol Danvers looking hot. It's just a fucking hot image. I mean, it's just really cool. Should be more of that. So, issue 164 of the X-Men, they realize there's something going on with them, how they're using their powers, how they're feeling, and they find out that there's brood eggs in their stomachs. It's pretty fucked up. So that issue came out, cover date December 1982, and the movie Aliens, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Sigourney Weaver. The movie Alien, the first movie, came out in 1979, for your reference. And that Uncanny X-Men number 168, got that for a total of $28.99. Lockheed's first appearance actually is Uncanny X-Men number 166, but her and Kitty Pryde, or I should say Lockheed and Kitty Pryde, they ended up taking on these like mechanical bug-like things, Sidrian hunters that were burrowing underneath the mansion. This is the comic book that starts off with that panel where Kitty Pryde's looking out at the viewer, complaining Professor Xavier is a jerk. This is the issue where she gets kicked out to live in the New Mutants, and by the end of the issue, Colossus ends up joining Kitty Pryde and Lockheed, and she ends up getting back into the X-Men. Now, also per Comic Vine, at the end of Uncanny X-Men 168, in Alaska, Scott, Havoc, and their father, Christopher Summers, go to meet Scott's grandparents and run into Madeline Pryor, who looks just like Jean Grey. Madeline Pryor's first appearance, clone of Jean Grey, the Goblin Queen, thanks to Mr. Sinister. His first appearance is Uncanny X-Men 221. Yep. So that is cover date April 1st, 1983. Chris Claremont story, for sure. So next up we got here, Danger Girl. Paid a total of $12.55. That includes shipping. All right, so that is two stories, two 12-page stories, and then a bunch of pinups. It says originally supposed to be printed by Dynamic Forces. It's like a flip book. The first story, actually both of them, are written by J. Scott Campbell and Andy Hartnell. And the first story is actually art by Art Adams. And the second story has the layouts by J. Scott Campbell, most of the artwork, and then it's finished by Joe Chiodo. You can see that Chiodo name right there. So this has a number of printings. From what I've looked up at just mycomicshop.com, you've got this regular printing here, and then Dynamic Forces printing that actually just has the Dynamic Forces logo right there. I'm not sure what else is the big deal with it outside of that, and it's limited to 10,000. We've got that one that is signed by J. Scott Campbell and Andy Hartnell, and that's limited to 1,500 copies. And then you got two more separate Dynamic Forces cover and a Dynamic Forces Euro variant. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 separate covers. And then a 5th edition that's signed. But just decided to get this one. The description of this is pretty amusing. It says here, bring, the fashion phone is ringing. Someone needs the Mod Bod's help. The girls quickly change into the Mod Bod outfits and jump into the Bod Mobile. Atomic purchasing power, credit line max with speed. It's the Peach, and he's up to his old tricks stealing art. So, yeah, I could care less. This is like a VF minus cover here. It's not bad. It's a little bit of scuffing going on here. Nothing major. But besides that, there are some light spine ticks right there and there. That's it. Yeah, I got this more as a collector. A lot of these, they call them pinup type covers. Good girl artists. Some more as just a collector, not so much investments. That would be a pretty speculative buy. On my part, I would think if I was trying to buy like a good girl pinup type drawing as an investment, I think it would be definitely a sell. But as far as trying to flip something, it would have to be like one of those variant covers that's graded at least a 9.6 plus a CGC certified autograph. I mean, it's like modern comics are getting to that extent where you got to get at least 3 things, right? A variant, a signature, and at least a 9.6. Like at least 2 of those 3. Something along those lines where the more modern it is, the more of a unique edge I think you would have to you'd have to find something along those lines. If you want to spend, Danger Girl, great book, fun buy. Any type of feedback would be appreciated, so hit me back with anything you think that I can do a little bit better. Sound quality, speaking quality, lighting, whatever. Hit me up, let me know. Alright, this is more of a collector's buy. Muratana from Veratic. Issue number 1. $4.95 cover price. Sorry about that. There you go. Simon Beasley cover. Now, from what I've looked up, it's saying Beasley, but then right there, I did see one site that did say Danzig and Beasley cover. So I'm just calling it a Beasley cover for now. And with shipping, the total is $14 some odd cents, so basically $15. Danzig's the writer with various artists. Beasley's the only appearance you're seeing with Beasley on this particular Verotic comic is the cover. And you know, Beasley collaborates with a lot of people who are in the entertainment business, like Danzig. And Danzig, he's trying to post a lot of his IPOs, his character-based assets up online, trying to get stuff made into movies and video games. Everyone's trying to leverage some type of character icon based out of some type of media these days, right? I mean, a lot of changes going down. I think there could be a lot of new markets that could be created, and I know that the horror genre is one market that people are definitely throwing a lot of money at or paying a lot more attention to. That too, and those, you call those outlaw comics, those super edgy, extremely, possibly you could say extremely grotesque, gratuitous violence, sex type of stories too. Moritana, I don't think that is quite entirely along the lines like that, but it is erotic, and Glenn Danzig books, I would say, yeah, they are a lot on like that outlaw type of level, outlaw comics level. Speaking of that, got a really nice near mint copy. Let's see this. Double bag my stuff. Usually if it comes into a board, I usually take the board out, or I just rebag it alone, because if you look at that stain mark, you know, this doesn't have it, it's new, but that along the edge when you're looking at comics to buy, and if I have to compare two comics to buy, and one of them is in a board in the bag, and I see that stain that appears along the edge when it's boarded, that tells me that there's a lot of color loss. You know, if the other one doesn't, hey, at least I know the other one for sure does have cover loss when I see that stain on the board. So I figure it's trying to sell this, and also just the chemicals on the board, even though this one side is acid free, it has like a glaze, I think, on those backing boards. I always just bag it first in a regular bag without a board, then put it in like a golden age bag and board for extra strength and keeps the corners safe. So it's my spiel on how I take care of my stuff. Here is a beautiful James O'Barr cover of the Crazor. Alright, so I paid with shipping total of $10 straight up. It's a near mint copy of 1998's The Crow Razor Kill the Pain. It's a 4-issue limited series. It was written by the creator of Razor, which is Everett Hartsoe. It had 2 covers in each issue, and James O'Barr did the second cover for the first 3. So, London Night. The Crow Razor Kill the Pain. Comic Finds got London Night Studios / Top Dollar Comics co-production starring The Crow, Eric Draven, and Razor, Nicole Mitchell, against an enemy called Pain. 4-issue limited series. Alright, you know, the Crow first appeared in Caliber Presents, issue 1. Here we got a reprint, the first reprint of The Crow. It was originally printed out of Kitchen Sink Press. This is from Tundra. It's 3 volumes. This is volume number 2 I got for around $22, includes shipping. It's a really nice near mint copy. Now, I don't know if any of you remember Grant Morrison out of June 2001, Uncanny X-Men 394. On the cover of it You have Ethan Van Sciver's artwork of Jean Grey, her and Logan, full embrace kissing. Yeah, it's out of July 2001. So let's cut now to 1995. Got this for $41 total. Near mint copy. DC and Milestones collaboration. Getting it on right there. That is the controversial cover of Static, issue number 25. Static and Daisy Watkins on the cover right there. The original cover is actually on the inside. They had to agree with DC Comics to put the original cover as the first panel, as page number 1. They being Dwayne McDuffie, they being the staff over at Milestone Comics. Yeah, if you just do a basic search for Static issue number 25, you'll see the rundown, a bunch of articles on this controversial issue. So they had to give in and concede and created this cover instead. The cover that they wanted not only showed Static and Daisy kissing, he also has condoms. I think he's holding condoms in one of his hands. So let's take a look. There he is, the condoms right there, and there's a couple on the floor. This was supposed to be the original cover of Static issue number 25. It's now the first page. As far as I know, there is only one cover. I mean, outside of a direct edition and newsstand. So Static issue number 25. That script is by Ivan Velez. Pencils, interior pencils by Wilfred Santiago. Zena Saunders doing the painted cover there. Dwayne McDuffie just explained the situation, indicating how they wanted to have the original cover and the pushback they got from DC. That's cover date July 1st, 1995. This one is as both a collector and an investor, definitely. And yeah, those Uncanny X-Men comics were definitely as a collector, as a hoarder, just to say I got 3 of those, that run of comics from issue 164 to 175. That's like my own personal X-Men run when I was first introduced to X-Men. We all have our original runs that we're attached to. And then definitely, you know, the Morlocks, you know, that led right into the mystery of Madeline Pryor. Later on, eventually, when like Magneto started working with the X-Men, I thought that was cool too. So that was a little bit later, but you know, all these online purchases I've been making, you know, the money, it's been adding up. But these are all a lot bucket list stuff that around 2015, you know, I told myself 3 years, I want to get. I had like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper filled with 2 columns of list of comics that I've been spending money on, and you know, that 3 years later turned into 4 years later. I wouldn't say I really got into that bucket list until 2016. So yeah, up until like 2019. Then last year I was spending more, and there was just a bunch of stuff that I couldn't find. Now it's down to like 4 or 5 main items. One of the items I like to get as both a collector and an investor is the first appearance of Superman. I got this for $169. The original sale price was $175. So with shipping and everything, it came out to like $169.95, so like $170. Had little technical difficulties there. Battery ran out of juice. So this is like my long-term goal, just as a collector. I mean, I definitely bought this one as a collector slash investment. I mean, it is slab, so when I'm going to get something slabbed, it's going to be at least 9.6, and slab to me means investment. But as a collector, I like collecting Action Comics. You know, I was born in Cleveland. It's the birthplace of the superhero. Superman's first appearance came out of Cleveland, basically, and here we got a reprint of Action Comics #1 from Cleveland. So, for me, I'm psyched. I saw this 9.8 listed on eBay, a lot of like $250, $275, and then this one guy was selling it for $175, and I talked him down, and everything, all thing considered, with shipping, it came out to be $170. So, and you've got with the Loot Crate reprint of this, I've got DC Millennium Edition. I know I got that one. The 50-year anniversary, but there's many more. That's my haul, y'all. Thanks a lot for watching. A little bit of a recap. I got my X-Men comics. I mean, I have a few in the early 100s, but my OG run from when I was originally collecting in the 80s runs, nonstop from like issue 150 to like 300 something. But like I said, this Paul Smith, Chris Claremont era really caught my eye, and that's when I started latching onto the X-Men. So as a collector, I hoard it out, and gonna end up with 3 copies of Uncanny X-Men from issue 164 to 175, just because. So as soon as I get Uncanny X-Men issue number 173, I'll be good to go on that crazy collector tip. I'm looking to get doubles of the Crow, and with this, I got doubles now of my Tundra Press 3-volume Crow set. So, got this also as a collector. This is my 3rd copy of the Crow Razor. It's a nice VF Plus, Nair Mint Minus copy. This is definitely just as a collector. Glenn Danzig, Simon Beasley comic out of Erotic. And this is, as a collector, you know, it's a landmark issue. It's a historical issue. It's also as an investment, 'cause it's static. Then, of course, we got our good girl pinup comics, so to speak. Definitely consider Milo Manara. Definitely something easy to resell, I think. Italian edition. And Danger Girl. Can't go wrong. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Peace.